Portugal walk their way into securing first place in their group. Shout out Turkey for the assist there. And Belgium and Romania, oh boy. What's up guys, my name is Adrian and welcome to Euro Daily here on Rabona TV. Massive shout out to everyone who showed up to my Portugal versus Turkey watch party today. First one in over a year, so it was nice to shake the rust off. So thanks for joining me for that. We'll do some more in the knockout rounds of the competition. But you guys know the deal. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and don't want to miss our daily uploads on Euro 2024. And let's get into the final round 2 matchups. Georgia and Czechia. Georgia coming off of that epic battle in which they were just beaten by Turkey. And I say just beaten as that third goal came from Georgia pushing every player forward for a sequence of corner kicks and was scored on an empty goal. You know, they pulled the goalie if you're talking hockey. The score wasn't super representative of the balance of that match, I didn't find. Czechia, they of course played some bunker ball against Portugal. I don't say that disparagingly, just a fact, and nearly escaped with all 3 points if not for a late comeback from Portugal. Czechia played a lot more open this time against Georgia, trying to play on the front foot, and why not? It was working well. They forced some decent saves out of Mamardashvili in this match, and they even scored a goal in the first half. But the ball went in off of Lozek's arms, so of course it didn't count. Arms would be the enemy of Czechia in this first half. All the while, Georgia would get forward most commonly down the left flank via Kvaratskhelia, and they nearly found the breakthrough when a free kick fell to Gurum Kasia, and he scuffed his finish, saved, but wait. From the throw-in, the ref held up play for a penalty check, and here's why. Hranic was touched tight to his defender, which is common, and the ball bounced off of his arm. His arm was away from his body, so you can see why, by the letter of the law, it is indeed a handball. But on a human level, it does suck for Hranic, doesn't it? As it didn't really change anything in the play, as the opportunity still fell to Kasia, right? I feel for the Czechs there, because again, it is technically the right call. The player had his opportunity, he failed. And then when you see how it played out after, where Kasia still had that fantastic chance in spite of the handball, it feels like reworking the match for the sake of the rule book, similar to the feeling a lot of people had from the Xavi Simons goal against France that was called off. In the second half, Czechia did indeed get their equalizer as it was bundled in by Patrick Schick at the 1 hour mark. He would later go off with an injury, and from there, Czechia really dominated. Mamardashvili really had to work in this match as he was constantly called upon, and for all but one of Czechia's opportunities, he had the answer to it. Jurasek came on for Czechia, and he actually upped the industry of their attack, helping carve out opportunities for his teammates, and they had plenty of them. 26 attempts in total from Czechia, 12 on target, and expected goals of 3.09 and just 1 goal to show for it. At the very end, Georgia countered brilliantly, and with the keeper at his mercy, Lobanidze hit it over. He hit it over from here. 1-1 the final. That was still Georgia's first major tournament point, which is an achievement. Could have been 3 points though, but still, another solid performance from Georgia, who have a great keeper at the back and often looked dangerous on the counter. The way they would transition was impressive, but consistently lacking that last bit of quality to finish off those attacks. That final ball, or in Lobanidze's case, the final finish. Now, how did Portugal do against Turkey? Well, I was correct in my assessment of the Czechia match always being the most difficult for Portugal when it comes to scoring goals, as they scored 3 against this Turkish side, or rather they scored 2, and Turkey helped out with another because they're feeling nice. Speaking of this Turkish side, they decided to rest Yildiz, Mulder, and Güler from the start. Mulder didn't even come on. Now, during the watch-along for this match, we were sort of wondering if Turkey were perhaps saving some of these stars for their crunch match against Czechia on the final match day of this group, or if there really was a knock that they were each carrying into this match. The fact that Yildiz and Güler came on later perhaps says otherwise. But anyway, in the early exchanges, it was a pretty back and forth match where I thought Portugal's wing play was letting them down a bit. Both Bernardo and Rafael Leão weren't superb against Czechia. I even thought that perhaps Pedro Neto would have been more suited to starting this match ahead of Rafael Leão, but Martinez gave the man another shot after his performance against Czechia. Aktürkoğlu had a couple of scary moments in the first half down Turkey's left as he got on the end of a cross early, of which he mishandled it, though he tried to control it when he should have hit it first time, in my opinion. And later he split Bernardo and Cancelo and forced a decent kick save out of Diogo Costa. But for Portugal, their first goal came from Rafael Leão and Nuno Mendes combining down the left. Mendes playing the ball into the box and Bernardo Silva finishing past Bayendir for 1-0. Decent from Rafael Leão, but he would later get himself booked for diving in the second match running. What are you doing, man? Out for the match against Georgia, which provides another player a great opportunity to take that spot for Rafael Leão and not let go, because not only was it embarrassing for him to get yellows for diving in consecutive matches, but he also didn't do enough in either of Portugal's first 2 matches to warrant a start, to be an unquestioned starter at least. Anyway, he was hauled off at halftime, and deservedly so. It's too bad because he is so talented, but his game is so much more suited to when the match is stretched. And funnily enough, the second half would have been perfect for Rafael Leão. When Turkey were leaving acres of space on the left flank and pushing a lot of numbers forward, he would have cooked them. But before we get there, Portugal's second goal was handed to them by Akadin, whose pass back rolled past his own keeper and in, an absolute gift for Portugal. And in the second half, Cristiano Ronaldo continued to play incredibly unselfishly, which is so nice to see. A lot of the Portuguese in the chat were surprised to see Ronaldo pass so often, looking to set up his teammates instead of just shooting at goal on sight, as he did for Bruno Fernandes to make it 3-0 and effectively kill off the game. More of that from Ronaldo, please. I like what I'm seeing from him in this tournament. There's actually opportunities where I thought he should have shot when he was passing, but hey, still a good thing. I gotta say, that second half was a tough watch though. Portugal were playing at a trot. Turkey seemed disinterested for the most part. Nobody was really doing anything, trying to propel the match forward. All of them just wanted the match to be over so they could move on, and in Turkey's case, begin preparing for their all-important matchup against Czechia. So despite the 3-0 win, I don't think I can say that Portugal is in the top tier of contenders alongside Germany and Spain at the moment. I think those 2 teams, based on their first 2 matches, have looked a lot better. I mean, just look at the quality of opposition that Spain in particular have played against as well. Croatia and Italy in 2 wins, whereas Portugal has played against Czechia and Turkey, have got wins in both and haven't exactly looked stupendous. But all that said, the team that wins the tournament isn't usually the team that looks great from the start in the group stage, and I expect Portugal to continue to improve. Same with France, honestly. In fact, Portugal have secured first in the group, so they will test some players against Georgia, I'm sure. Hopefully not wholesale changes, as you got to keep momentum going in the tournament. Czechia and Turkey face off, and the winner of that takes second. A draw is enough for Turkey to hold on to second, though. Belgium versus Romania, 2 sides with very differing fortunes in their first matches. Romania shocking everyone with how they played. Belgium shocking people for other reasons. However, Belgium were much better in that second half against Slovakia and were a bit unfortunate to not get an equalizer. And so to change things in this match, Lukaku started ahead of Trossard while Doku played on the left this time. Vertonghen also started, as did Deet. A couple of changes in defense. But it was Doku on that left flank creating a goal immediately. He passed inside to Lukaku, who did brilliantly to hold up the ball and then roll it back to Tielemans. He started ahead of Mangala and he scythed it low past the keeper. Early, fantastic goal to start the match for Belgium. Unnerved by conceding early, Dragusin nearly scored with a header, forcing a great save out of Casteels. And Belgium continued to put the pressure on Romania as well, and they really had some fantastic moments. That counterattack from De Bruyne, where he took on a few players before playing wide to Lukaku. Wow, Lukaku almost with a stunner, if not for a great save from Nitze in goal. And honestly, Belgium were playing some lovely stuff out there, much more dynamic. The directness of both Doku and Lukaku on the wings, complemented by De Bruyne and Tielemans pulling the strings and making late runs toward the box. And all the while, Lukaku's hold-up play was decent. Left a bit to be desired in the box once again, however, in that first half. But in saying all of this, the threat from Romania wasn't zero. They would venture forward on the counter and force some great saves out of Casteels at times, put pressure from corners, etc. This wasn't just one-way traffic, despite Belgium having the better of the ball. Romania's threat was always still around. They couldn't afford to relax. But for me, it was De Bruyne who was the most influential and best player on the pitch, constantly cutting in on his right, nearly scored a few goals in the second half. Romania, most of their danger came from corner kicks. Now and then they would threaten on the counter, but Belgium had them fairly well contained in that second half, I'd say. And wouldn't you know it, it was De Bruyne who played through Lukaku, and Lukaku made the right decision in hitting the ball first time instead of exposing the ball to his first touch. The weight of the pass was brilliant, and Lukaku's finish was clean as well. And would you believe that he was offside once again? Wow. I feel for him, man. He played that really well, and that was his third disallowed goal at this tournament, and this was so close. The edge of his knee offside there. This man really is cursed, I think. But now I have a question. Why didn't Romania get a penalty? With Hranic's penalty in Czechia versus Georgia in mind, why wasn't Tielemans punished for this with his arm away from his body? It's the lack of consistency here that is frustrating from the officials, keeping us all in the dark and constantly guessing as to what constitutes a handball. Why is this one a penalty and this one is not? Well, anyway, let's move on from that. That man De Bruyne said, well, if these dudes can't score goals, I'll just do it myself. And it was the most Route 1 goal I've seen ever. Casteels hammered it forward. It took a bounce, and De Bruyne was there to smack it past the keeper. The captain getting it done for his country. Clean finish from him. Classy player. What a match. Belgium in the second half, with Romania looking for a goal, were seemingly constantly countering, looking dangerous. Trossard, Carrasco, De Bruyne, Lukaku, all of them had their chances. All of them had space to run at Romania's back line, and Belgium looked much better in this game. It was a natural progression from that Slovakia second half, which is exactly what you want to see from your side in tournament ball. You want to see the coach making changes to the 11. You want to see the floor of the side get raised with every performance. You want to see them start quickly and be at it early and stay that way throughout. And you want to see your key players stepping up and playing like key players. That's exactly what happened with this Belgian side, and they looked really dangerous. So every single team in Group E has a victory. Just look at the table here. 3 points apiece after 2 matches. Hey man, winner moves on with each match. That's pretty fun. All right, guys, the second round of matches has concluded. We now move into the final round, which will happen from Sunday through to next Wednesday. 4 more days to wrap up the group stage. Thanks as always for joining me. I'm Adrian, and I'll be right here again tomorrow. Take care, guys.